I like how they said some of the fringe theories, which I guess means that like the outskirts of even the people that believe this is an alien, they're like, all right, this guy's fucking insane.
The ancient aliens are like, theorists are like, okay, dude, calm the fuck down.
Welcome back, everybody, to Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal comedy podcast where we talk about all things spooky. I'm Taylor.
I'm Nick.
And Nick, we're fresh off the heels of the holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
The Christmas season, the New Year, Elvis's birthday, you know, all the things.
Oh, yeah.
How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling good. Can't complain. I'm excited for the new year.
Happy to get back behind the microphone.
Oh, yeah. This is like therapy for me. In the crazy world that we live in the hectic 9 to 5.
And then the raising 2 kids.
Yeah. That's part of the 9 to 5.
That never ends.
It never ends. Yeah, it's a job that continues to pay dividends. And
does it pay or does it cost?
I mean, I would venture to say that it pays dividends.
Like, those are tax breaks.
So literally it does pay, but yeah, I mean, you just can't put a price on, seeing little man smile at his reflection because he's like, wait, who's that guy? And it's just the cutest thing ever. Or, the oldest having. We
gotta have code names, Little Man and Little Man 2.
Well, I guess Little Man's not really Little Man anymore.
OG Little Man.
OG Little Man and Little Man 2.0. New Blood. Yeah, there we go. So OG is like
it's like Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah,
New beginning.
Yeah. It's like, so you have like OG with his moments, and it's just like you can't make the shit up. And then you have New Blood, who's just New Blood,
and just figuring life out.
Just figuring life out, and like, what is going on? What did you all drag me into? But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty pumped for the new year. Did you have a good holiday season? I
did. It was a busy one, but it's been good.
It really was busy.
Yeah, and it went by so fast.
Right, it's already the 15th.
I know, we're
of January. We're almost the new month's almost done.
It's crazy.
Insanity.
It really does. Smash Mouth did have it right. The years start coming and they don't stop coming.
Yeah. Yep. It was I forget what I was doing the other day. I'm just thinking back. I think it was like a Facebook memory or something. I was like, holy shit. Like,
what caught me off guard was that they posted the in memoriam of Alan Rickman, famously known as Snape from the Harry Potter series. Like, on this day, 10 years ago, 2016. I was like, 2016 was not 10 years ago. Stop it. I'm like, oh gosh, you're right. It was 10 years ago.
Britt was showing me something the other day that was like COVID was 7 years ago.
Just about. Well, I mean, 6 years ago.
Was it 6 or was it
2020?
2020?
Yeah, it was beginning of 2020.
I thought 2019.
Like March was when it was like really going in full force.
Yeah. But okay, even then though, like, yeah, COVID was like 6 years ago. It doesn't seem like it.
I know.
I remember OG sitting because it started preschool that year in kindergarten, and it was all virtual learning. So Britt made like a little makeshift desk for him to sit at. It was a little tablet. He was like sitting there eating his little fruit snacks, like just bouncing, eating fruit snacks. I'm like,
we could never relate because they would have made us go to school. But
oh fuck yeah, they've been like, there's a raging pandemic going on. There's a virus going around, but here's some tissues, and
we're just gonna need you to show up.
Yeah, and what if I get sick? Well, that sucks, but it is what it is.
We expect you to still be here.
Yep. You come to school, rain or shine.
It was like one of my. It was like a meme of like they'll cancel school over like rain now, but back when we were kids, they made us walk in a zigzag because there was a sniper on the loose.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there was a lot of crazy shit. I guess that happened. Like,
hey, a terrorist attack just wiped out the World Trade Centers. We're just going to take a half day, but come back tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. They sent us home, and I thought we were off the next day.
I don't think we were. It's possible.
I'm pretty sure we were off the next day
day
because it was what day of the week that happened. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna remember.
Some people remember that. Like some people.
It was probably like a Monday. Like the most Mondayest thing ever.
Oh, it was close.
Was it a Wednesday? It was Tuesday.
I'm pretty sure I
remember we went to school in the morning, and then nobody would tell us what was going on. But we see, like, the teachers were watching it on the TVs in the classrooms and in the computer lab. And, like, as we were leaving to go home, I remember catching a glimpse of, like, the tower smoking.
I didn't see any of that.
Yeah. And then
or maybe
home,
I
my
did.
mom was, like, waiting for me on the bus, and it was like, what's going on?
No, I didn't even go home on the bus. Yolanda came and got me from school.
Oh, really?
She came and picked me up, and she was freaking out because Grandpa was at the Pentagon.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah.
And I remember I don't remember what her official title was. I think she might have been one of the guidance counselors. Her name was Miss Sklenkar, and she's like she had like kind of reddish hair, kind of like the 80s perm hair kind of going on. She was one of because we had her and we had Miss Van Meter.
She's the only one I remember.
We're the two.
Miss Van Meter was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but Miss Sklenkar, I'm pretty sure, like, was talking to
Watch
Grandma.
her listen to this podcast and, like, out of the blue, she's like, hey, that was...
She'll email us. She'll be the first email we get. They're like, I heard your podcast the other day. I'm like...
You know who I really need to listen to this podcast is Bob Hornbecker.
Yeah.
That's why I need to listen
That'd
to
be cool.
this podcast.
That'd be cool.
Because I feel like he would really enjoy our topic today.
Maybe, yeah. Seems like it's up his alley.
And what is our topic today, Nick?
Good old-fashioned ancient aliens. An ancient alien theory.
The ancient astronauts.
Ancient astronauts. Shout out to Eric von Daniken, the pioneer, the man who started it all back in, I think, 1962.
He wrote Chariots of the Gods.
Chariots of the Gods. If you go to your local Wonder Book, you will find a whole section dedicated just to Chariot of the Gods. Not because it's a bad read, but because people probably were just clearing out clutter and, they already read it. And you can get your own very used and outdated.
Maybe a little smelly.
A little smelly. Some coffee stains on there.
Somebody put a cigarette out in it.
Oh, for sure. Maybe some semen stains. Don't know.
Okay.
Just saying. Just saying. You never know where the brown is coming from. Causing the frowns. Now, I'm cereal. You ever go to Wonder Book and you're like, oh, wow. And you're like, that's not coffee.
I try my best not to go to Wonder Book.
I fucking love Wonder Book.
Wait, it's not. Is it Wonder Book? Which one's that? That's in the mall, right?
That's Books A Million.
Okay.
Wonder Book's on 40
over by the shopping center.
By the Taco Bell. And
across the street, right?
Yeah, Supreme
next
Buffet.
to the big buffet. Okay,
yeah.
That is right then. That's what it is.
Wonder
I
Book.
try not to go out there.
Why?
It feels dirty.
It's extremely dirty.
I feel like I might catch a venereal disease just by walking in.
You might, but it's worth it. It is so.
I've never found anything in there that was worth it.
It's so worth it.
Every now and then they have some good video games, but other than that,
I forget. I should have bought it. I regret it because every now and then I'll go in there. I'm getting more excited about Wonder Book than I am Ancient Aliens. Every now I'll go in there.
Welcome to Shadows and Sightings, a Wonder Book podcast.
I go in there and I just find this really cool stuff, and it's like $2 or $3, but I put it down because I'm like, okay, I don't really need this. It's just more clutter, and I don't need that. Last time I was there, I found a cookbook from like 1885. And it was like a slave cookbook.
I think you talked about this on the show before.
Maybe it was like, and it literally was just like a cookbook for, slaves who were like, the cooks in the home, and like the freaking, I should have bought it. And I'm kicking myself.
What a piece of history to have.
Well, I mean, like obviously it was like terrible, the history behind it, but like the recipes and stuff of itself.
Probably slapped.
Oh yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this? But I found this other thing one time where it was like a photo album, because they have like a section where it's just photo albums, but they're empty. I guess people just were like, oh, let's get rid of this photo book that I'm never going to use.
Let's be modern Americans and just have it all in one of those little digital scrolling picture frame things.
Yeah. But it was full. There was like actual photos in this photo album of people that I have no idea who they were. But they were like,
you should have bought that.
I should have bought it.
I had it on the table. And people were like, "Oh, what is this?" I don't know.
Oh, that's my great Uncle Jerry.
Yeah, just make up backstories for everybody.
it always changes. It always changes. Wait, I thought you said this guy worked for the CIA.
Oh, so no, that's just what they wanted you to
That's
think.
what he wanted, the KGB.
He's actually a Green Beret, undercover for the CIA.
Men in Black, you know. Most. You ever get a chance to meet him, ask him about his time where he was an ice cream man? You know, that story will blow your fucking mind.
Here's a picture of him holding the slave cookbook.
See, it's right there, same book. And but I'm pretty sure they had pictures of Hershey Park in there from like the 70s or the 80s.
That's kind of sad.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
But yeah, you can find a whole section on Chariot of the Gods, written by Eric Van Daniken. I should have bought one. But shout out to him. He actually, unfortunately, did pass away. I mean, I say unfortunate. The dude lived like a long life.
It's January 10th.
January 10th, a couple days ago, he had passed away. He was born in 1935.
Oh, so he was 91.
Yeah. Imagine all
You know how I know that? Elvis was born in 1935.
Oh, really?
So
when was Elvis's birthday?
January 8th.
This dude, his April 14th.
Oh, so he was going to be 91. He was 90.
He was 90, yeah. No, almost there. Almost there.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, dude, living a long life. Can't.
90s. Hey, if I make it to 90, I'd be like, damn, I can't believe I did it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the 60s would have been just like a great time to be alive.
You got to pour one out for your Grateful Dead guy, too.
Oh, yeah, Bob Weir.
Yeah.
Yep, another one. I'm sure he was very fond of the ancient alien theory.
He was a co-contributor.
Oh, for sure. He was there.
He probably helped him write the book.
He probably called him. He was like, oh, yeah, I got you, man. Like him and Jer Bear were just like giving him the deets that they got from the cosmic knowledge from taking mushrooms and having...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If anybody contacted aliens, the Grateful Dead for sure did.
Easily. Hands down. Aliens probably contacted them.
They're like, hey, man, big fans. Love your music.
You guys are jamming.
We listen to Fire on the Mountain every time we come to Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we'll start with you. Tell me, when you hear ancient aliens or the ancient astronaut theory, what are some things that come to mind?
The first thing that comes to mind is the guy with the crazy hair that goes aliens on the History Channel.
Giorgio Tsoukalos, yes.
That guy.
Yes. That dude was a bodybuilder before he was.
Of course he was.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's another, like...
I think of him. I think of the show Ancient Aliens on the History Channel that I only ever see but never watch. I don't know why. Haven't really watched it. And then I guess what next would be is like all the theories around like Stonehenge. Stonehenge has always been like the one for me that's like the most fascinating. And then the pyramids, I guess. And then other than that, it's like, the gods were all aliens. Like in that order, going down.
Yeah, no, that checks out. Yep.
Isn't there like a hieroglyph on one of the pyramids that has like a picture of a spacecraft or something on it?
I mean, you say you haven't seen the show, like if you watch it, like it'll be one of those things where they'll talk about every episode. It's like a script almost where they're not saying that it's alien. That's like the running joke. They're not saying that it's aliens, but they're essentially saying that it's aliens. They're like they're like proposing it. And it could be. It could be. They never.
But we're not saying that it is because we don't want to be discredited.
I mean, in more recent years, they've like flat out saying like, why did they do this? It's because they were ancient extraterrestrials, but they've never like flat out said like, oh yeah, without a doubt, this is 100% alien.
They can 100% prove that this.
Yeah, they say it more from like a kind of semi-skeptical, but saying that it is without saying that it is.
Right.
But it always puts the viewer in the position of like, could it be this or could it not be? What do you think? That kind of like situation. So they'll take like, the theory of ancient aliens. They'll show like a hieroglyphic or something like that looks like a spaceship. Notice how it curves right here. Notice that this here is like the rocket blast coming out of it, and clearly, this looks like to me
Elton
that it
John
could be
flying an airplane from a hieroglyph we found inside of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Like there was one episode they did on like I think like the Mayans, and
yes, the Mayans. Because they also had help from the ancient.
Oh, of course, yeah,
astronauts.
Yeah.
Astronauts.
it was like I think the original piece of it, or the artwork that it depicts, is supposedly a dude trying to get to the underworld. But he's like, he has like these hands on like these like knob looking things, and they're saying that like, but if we turn it this way, it's actually an ancient astronaut in a cockpit controlling a spaceship.
Okay.
And like somebody made like a die cast model of it, and like they had him on the show, and they were like trying to like say like, oh yeah, this is, here are the rocket booster, here are the thrusters, this is the control mechanism right here. Like,
how much cocaine are you on right now?
I am so high. I haven't slept in 2 weeks.
Aliens.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Though sometimes it's like a stretch. But you got to watch it. If you haven't seen it, you should just watch like an episode. And they have like an episode on everything.
Yeah.
To the point where like I used to be like a super, super diehard fan of it. But then as like the seasons have progressed, it's like, okay, I think they're kind of like grasping at straws.
I mean, it's been on the air for like a decade now, right?
Longer than that.
Really?
I think 2010, 2009, I think is when like the first season aired.
Oh, wow.
Because I was still in high school.
20 years then.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was around that time, like 2010.
That's insane. Yeah, how much can you really talk about?
If you think about it, they've done an episode almost on like every topic. I could be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if they've done an episode on like Elvis Presley.
Well, Men in Black made the joke already.
Well,
Elvis didn't die; he just went home.
Yeah, well, not so much about like him being an alien, but more or less like it's probably an episode on these really talented people, like exceptional people. Like they did one on like geniuses, so they talk about like Bill Gates, and they talk about like Nikola Tesla was like another one. And they're like, oh yeah, he clearly was influenced by ancient he
was a time traveler.
Ancient terrestrials, and so yeah, the unbearable talents, or the unimaginable
the
talent.
weight of unbearable burden.
Yeah, or whatever.
Something like that.
Something like that. So yeah, no.
What was the fucking the ad campaign? Real man of genius, or whatever the fuck that was back in the day. It was like fucking Home Depot or Lowe's or something. Today we salute you, car wash guy. You don't remember those fucking commercials? Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe it was Budweiser. Maybe it was Budweiser commercial.
I was gonna say that seems like a beer commercial.
Yeah, Bud Light maybe.
What's been with Doritos and their recent like alien commercials?
I haven't seen one.
You didn't see the one like 2 years ago? I think it was a Super Bowl one. Where dude's like in his shed trying to contact aliens, and like they show up when he opens up the Doritos bag, and they like a light beams through the window and like
takes the Doritos.
Well, it tries to take the Doritos or whatever, and he's like sitting there fighting with it, no! And he like starts slamming them across the.
Let's be honest. If an alien tasted a nacho cheese Dorito, their head would explode.
I think a lot of stuff would happen if aliens saw. Or just experience the human experience
for one day.
For like one day. It's probably why they haven't come back.
I'd be shocked. What is the ancient astronaut theory?
Yeah. So the ancient alien theory at its core suggests that extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in ancient times. So our ancestors were visited by, species of aliens, and the theory suggests that human civilization, all of the advancements that we've had since, the dawn of human civilization was influenced by these ancient extraterrestrials.
I would say more the gaps, because you can start at the beginning of time and it's like, oh, okay, we made the wheel. Great. And then from the wheel became like the car, and there's like a lot of steps in between there, but there's like a huge gap between the rudimentary thing where it's like, this is all we knew how to do. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're going to make a internal combustion engine.
Well, they talked about that in like one of the episodes. It was like within like the last 50,000 years, human evolution has like just skyrocketed from, where, and yeah, of course they're like, why? How did it happen? Because we were influenced by ancient extraterrestrials. But yeah, all of like the major landmarks that you see, like Stonehenge,
pyramids.
The pyramids.
Easter Island, I think, is one.
Yeah, that always comes up in all the episodes.
The like Aztec temples and stuff.
The Aztec temples is another one. The Nazca lines is another one. They're like, okay, what are these here? You know, they weren't made by aliens, but they were made for extraterrestrials because they're like, who are they trying to communicate with? Yeah, so like I said, just suggests that extraterrestrial beings visited the Earth in ancient times and have essentially helped advance mankind in one way or another. These beings allegedly influenced early human civilization, technology, religion, and even human DNA. Of course, the tagline, ancient gods were actually aliens.
Jesus was an alien.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And I think the earliest, what seems to be the most common civilization that kind of like started it all, that kind of points to like the mythos of it, was the Sumerians.
And who were they?
They were from Mesopotamia. That's what it is. So an ancient race in Mesopotamia, the Sumerians, supposedly they were like a breed of like gods or whatever, the Sumer.
The ones who came before?
Yeah, essentially, basically. Like they supposedly came from a planet called Nibiru that is no longer with us. Zachariah Sitchin wrote a whole bunch of books about like the Sumerians, and like he was convinced that like they came from this planet Nibiru.
Yeah, and he claimed that they came to Earth to mine gold and genetically engineered Homo sapiens by mixing their own DNA with that of early hominids to create a slave labor force.
Then a war broke out between the Sumer gods. One of them, I forget the dude's name, like we're just gonna call him Carl. Carl's like, hey man, you can't do that. Okay, we can't. These are human beings that have feelings. They should have free will. He was like the Optimus Prime of the Transformers. He's like, humans should have free will. And the other guy was like,
Decepticon is
Larry. His twin Megatron. Oh, fuck that. We should dominate them. They're here to be conquered.
That's very much what Assassin's Creed is based off of, I think. Like,
that's a pretty common.
The ones who came before, or you had Juno and the other one that was like, oh, well, the human should, if you ever look into the Assassin's Creed lore besides the game, like the one who came before lore, it's very similar.
It's the Isu, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they were? They were aliens, right?
Yeah, they were like a race of perfect beings. Like they were like a race of gods, and they essentially created humans as a slave race.
Yeah, yep.
To do all these things for them, and then it's basically the same exact thing. One of them was like, these guys are things, they should have free will and be able to do what they want. The other one's like, nope, can't have that.
Nope. Good. Let's get rid of that guy. You're a liability.
That's why you never finished Valhalla.
Yeah.
Where you find out that Odin and all the gods were Aesir.
Yeah.
Or, the ones who came before, and that's what Ragnarok was the human uprising and killing all the ones who came before.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I should get back and finish it.
They have some like ancient alien stuff in Valhalla. Like you can go to Stonehenge and like that's a whole puzzle system and takes you underground to a giant vault where Excalibur is hidden. The ancient sword of King Arthur.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much, you hit the nail on the head. So Larry, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. Bad Guy, is like, no, we can't. We created these guys, are going to serve us. So then this like internal war breaks out. And then, originally they came to Earth is because their planet Nibiru was starved of its resources. And they came to Earth to mine gold because they needed gold to power all their stuff.
Of course they did.
Yeah, So this war breaks out, and I think the Great Flood in their myth happens because that was like their attempt of like trying to wipe out the humans. But of course the humans survive, and that's why we're here today.
Go humans.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Like you can actually, I'm pretty sure if you look at the history of like Mesopotamia, like there's like written lore of the lifespan of the Sumerian gods. Like there's like different rulers. Like the first dude ruled for like 30,000 years. That's how long he lived. Then like the next ruler was like 20 something thousand, then 10,000 and so forth. Up until like they were essentially no longer in the picture.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Maybe they just got bored. Maybe they got enough gold. Maybe the humans were
another
like
planet with even more gold.
Yeah, and told them to go kick rocks. They'll be back someday. They'll be like,
all right, we're back for all of our gold. My God, what did you do to this place?
What the fuck is twerking? Yeah. So that essentially.
Just wait till they find out about the great gold rush of 1849.
Oh, they'd be so mad they missed out. They'd be so pissed. So that's essentially like the origin, like the basics of the ancient alien theory. And if you look at any culture, there's like Native Americans have like their own ancient alien theory.
Yep.
Africans have like their own ancient alien. Pretty much any culture that you look into, there is some depiction of it's the others. We were visited by the ones who came before. They have like some like name or some story behind it. But where it kind of comes into mainstream popularity, like shout out to Eric Von Daniken. He was like the author who in the 60s wrote a book called Chariot of the Gods, and that kind of brought it to like mainstream culture where people were like, oh, this is a thing. And that book really took off, and that's where it all stemmed as like what we have today is like the mainstream ancient alien theory.
Is there anything in the Chariots of Gods that you want to touch on, like what that book is about?
Yeah, it's so Eric Von Daniken, he was a hotel manager, and in his spare time, he would just travel around the world to like these ancient sites, these megalithic structures and all that. And he essentially would, it was that book is his take on what he thought these, like how these structures came to be, how he interpreted, where they came from. He grew up in when he was a kid, he went to like a monk school, like a Catholic monk kind of thing.
Like a monastery?
Yeah, like basically that. And because there's a whole episode on him in like the ancient alien, but he talked about how the first thing he remembered kind of questioning like the religious, doctrines was his mentor was like, you should go read the book of Enoch, or about the story about Enoch. And for those of you who don't know, so Enoch's just like chilling one day, and this freaking chariot just comes down and like takes him. And it's like he was, and once
Enoch or Ezekiel. I only know of Ezekiel.
It happens. I think it happens twice.
Okay.
I think there's two in the Bible. There's two people that are like abducted by.
Yeah.
One is
Ezekiel is definitely one because he gets on a chariot with an angel.
And then I think the other one, it's like a whirlwind of like fire comes down or something.
Okay.
Or it might be the same one. I don't know. I could have swore it was Enoch was the other one. But he's reading the story and he has this like profound like experience where it's, oh my gosh, like this is
Purple
like
Haze starts playing in the background.
Right, yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is a depiction of like an alien abduction, like an ancient alien tie or an ancient history tie. It's like in the Bible, so it's ancient. And that kind of like starts him down this path of, researching this stuff. But the book essentially claimed that ancient structures and myths couldn't be explained just by humans alone. And he was a pretty strong believer that, all of the ancient history was influenced by, ancient extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
And of course, it wasn't until the History Channel picked it up in 2009 that it skyrocketed and blew up to what it is today.
Right. Well, I figured we could touch on some of those, or megalithic constructions, I should say. We already kind of had mentioned, but you have like the Great Pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge. One of the claims is the precision of the stone cutting and the sheer weight of the blocks were beyond the capabilities of ancient humans. Therefore, they must have used alien technology such as acoustic levitation or laser-like cutting tools. Experimental archaeology has demonstrated that large groups of people using ramps, levers, and copper tools could and probably did move and shape these stones over many years. The central argument is that the precision and scale of the structures exceeded what primitive humans could achieve. However, modern research offers some fascinating earthly explanations. Do you have a favorite one?
Like site or
site, building, wonder of the world, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, there's so many. Have you ever seen
Pumapunku in Bolivia?
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
The stones here are famous for their H blocks with laser straight lines and internal 90-degree angles.
Have you ever seen them? Like what they look like?
I think so.
These like huge giant H blocks, and it's pretty compelling. Like
it says the blocks were cut with, or the alien theory is that the blocks were cut with lasers or advanced machinery and are too heavy for humans to have moved in the thin air of the Andes. However, archaeological, evidence would suggest that recent electron microscope analysis suggests some of these stones may have been geopolymers, an ancient form of concrete. Instead of carving 100-ton blocks, the Tiwanaku people may have poured a mixture of crushed rock and a natural binder into molds. This would explain the machined look and how they moved such weight. Hence, they moved it in smaller buckets, not as one block, and then poured it into molds.
I mean, yeah, that's cool, I guess, But we know the truth. It was aliens. Those aliens. Yeah.
They weren't making ancient concrete back then. Nobody gives a shit about that.
That is one complaint or one criticism I have about the show Ancient Aliens. They will talk to the nine about the theory of it being aliens, but very rarely do they ever have a critic. I don't think there's ever been like a critic like on the show.
Like, hey, come on now.
Yeah, exactly. Like the critics are never on the show. It's like, okay, that's
because then they're gonna ruin the whole show.
But I think it would be more compelling if you had
in the room.
It would be more compelling if you had both sides. Be like, okay, and it's like, all right, this is like,
I just want the ancient alien guys to have a war with the modern archaeological.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like because they don't rag on them, but they'll be like, we have been misled by. Like what do they call it? Mainstream archaeology.
Big archae.
yeah, basically. To believe that this was just a bunch of apes running around, and then evolution and all. Yeah, they get into it. But yeah, there's like never any critics on the show. But yeah, the H blocks it is pretty crazy. Yeah. Like how precise they are.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off on what's your favorite.
No, this is all
structure.
All this is my favorite. Dude, there's so many. There's the Pumapunku is pretty cool. The pyramid, that's just like a classic.
Yeah, it's the Great Pyramid of Giza. The impossible cut is the kind of the theory here. Proponents like Graham Hancock, who you already had mentioned, suggest that humans couldn't cut granite, one of the hardest stones, with copper tools. Archaeologists have demonstrated that using copper saws combined with an abrasive sand acts like a modern diamond blade. The sand does the cutting, the copper just holds the sand in place. To move the stones, a 4,500-year-old papyrus, the Diary of Mur, was recently discovered, detailing how workers used a massive network of canals to float the limestone blocks right to the base of the Giza Plateau. So again, definitely aliens.
Totally aliens. I mean, yeah, sure. Physics, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you were to hop in a time machine and you go back. All right, we're gonna meet the aliens. Like, where are they? And then these people are just looking at you, like it's like
we build.
Yeah, right. Like, okay, well, that rope's not gonna pull itself, buddy. And we're on a tight schedule, so get in line, dude.
All right, you have a. Baalbek, the Trilithon. This is home to some of the largest building blocks in the world. Claim is that the base of the Temple of Jupiter contains 3 stones known as the Trilithon.
That's the one that I was going to say. Like that one. Have you seen the pictures? They're fucking huge. They're huge.
3 stones known as the Trilithon, each weighing about 800 tons.
Yeah.
Nearby, the Stone of the South weighs in an estimated 1,200 tons. Alien theorists claim these were part of a landing platform for spacecraft because no human technology of that time could lift them. While the weight is staggering, Roman engineering was highly advanced. They used massive capstans, basically heavy-duty winches, and treadwheel cranes. Archaeologists have found the holes where these cranes were anchored into the stone.
Like you can see like how tiny the people are walking on them. They're freaking huge, and there's like a whole bunch of them, and they're like, yeah, it's like how the hell did they even like move that stuff back in the day? You know, and it's freaking insanity.
According to archaeology, it had giant cranes that they could use to move these things with. They were called treadmill cranes, which honestly it doesn't surprise me.
It wouldn't, yeah. I mean, that's I'm not ruling, and I'm not saying that like I'm not knocking ain't like mainstream archaeology because I think there is a lot that it does like has proven and answered. Yeah. You know, like I'm not going to.
But there are some things where it's like
it's like okay,
crazy.
that's I question that.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Maybe it's some aliens.
I'm in full support of. So like we talk about ancient aliens here, but we're also Graham Hancock's story, Ancient Archaeology. I think that's what it's called on Netflix.
Ancient Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Ancient Apocalypse. That his stance is more like he's not really saying that it's aliens, but he's more or less saying that human civilization in history, what he calls prehistory, is a lot older than what we're being told. So that's where he kind of comes in. Which that's not yeah, I completely support that 100%. Where he's saying that like
there was a civilization before that rose and then fell and then
or like multiple
civilizations.
Yeah, he's saying that like for as an example, we're told that modern history began like 6,000 years ago, and he's basically saying like no, that's bullshit. Like that it probably goes back 12, 13, 14, 20,000 years ago, and the whole show is about him like finding like archaeological evidence. He goes to like out in the Midwest somewhere, like New Mexico or something like that, and he gets like the National Park Service on the show, and there's like footprints, like ancient footprints from like our ancestors out in like the desert. But then you'll find like giant megafauna footprints next to it. So like mammoths, giant sloths, and all that are like right next to like the same footprint. And it's like, okay, these were kind of made around the same time where we were told that humans came after the dinosaurs. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But then he's like, if that's the case, how are these here like line up and like they do like sediment analysis and all that? And he's saying like they're coming from the same time period, Huh. And he like asked the guy, so do you think that like humans, like the national park guy, do you think humans or whatever were like? It's like no, I think they were like around the same time. At least we were walking side by side with these like megafauna. It's such a good show, but of course he's another guy that gets a lot of shit. Yeah, they try to like discredit
anybody that's bold is gonna get a lot of shit.
Yeah, they like he gets credited a lot.
All right, how about the melted walls of Peru? Have you seen this one?
No, that's new to me.
Located near Cusco, this Incan fortress features walls made of massive stones that fit together like a 3D jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The alien claim is that the stones are so perfectly joined that you cannot slip a piece of paper between them. Because many stones have a quote-unquote puffy pillow-like look, theorists suggest aliens used heat ray technology to soften or melt the stones so they could be melded together.
I mean, it looks pretty crazy. Does it talk about out in, I think like in the Middle East or like Asia, about India? I think it's like in India, where they found like vitrified sand, like glass. Basically sand that's like heated to like extreme temperature, and it creates like that green glass or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like they found it in New Mexico when they were testing the nuclear bomb. Like, we made glass, Yeah. Well, they found the same thing out in like India somewhere. And they're like, where did this come from? Like, this only happens when it's like nuclear level, like temperature. So they're thinking that there was like a war amongst like, the ancient gods back in the day, and they were using like nuclear weapons like back in the day.
Yeah. The modern context or the modern, I guess, explanation would be that the melted look is actually the result of polygonal masonry. The Incans would painstakingly grind the edges of a new stone to match the one below it. The puffy face is simply the natural weathered surface of the rock, left uncarved to save time and add structural stability against earthquakes. Another one is the Circuit Board City in Mexico. Massive Mesoamerican city is famous for the Avenue of the Dead and the Pyramids of the Sun and the Moon. Alien claim is from above. Some argue the city layout resembles a computer circuit board. Additionally, archaeologists found large sheets of mica, an insulating material or mineral used in modern electronics, embedded between layers of the pyramids. Theorists suggest that it was an ancient power plant.
That's dope. I like that.
Modern explanation is that mica was indeed used, but likely for its shimmering aesthetic or ritual significance. As for the circuit board layout, it is actually aligned with the Pleiades star cluster, Pleiades star cluster, and the path of the sun, which was central to the religion and calendar. So I kind of like how there's so many different ones, and each one of them has an equally plausible, real explanation. But there's also like a actually, this could fucking be aliens.
You gotta watch the show. I'm telling you, you gotta watch the show. It's great.
Then you have Easter Island, of course. It's probably one of the most famous ones. Nearly 1,000 moai, which is the giant head statues, scattered across the remote island. The alien claim is, how could a small population on a treeless island move 14-ton statues miles from the quarry? Eric von Daniken famously suggested they were moved with anti-gravity or lasers. The modern explanation is that oral tradition said the statues, quote-unquote, walked to their spots, which I don't know how I don't know how it's any better than aliens. In recent years, researchers proved this was literal. By using 3 ropes in a rocking motion, a small team of people can make a statue, quote-unquote, walk forward.
Yeah. Just rocking it back and forth.
Could you imagine, though? That would take a lot of time, I would imagine.
I mean, it's ancient times. You got nothing going on back then.
Yeah, what do you do? These statues.
Yeah, right? Like, this is... And you got to think, like, back then...
I'd like to think that, like, they're walking, like, they're on their 10th one, and then alien just is like, this is way easier. Just anti-gravity's them up and over, and he's like, all right, we're done. That's 14. I don't think you need any more.
Yeah,
and just leaves.
Yeah, later.
He's like the alien from Fairly Odd Parents, the Mark or whatever. Whoa, Earthlings! What are you doing?
Oh yeah, puny human.
Yeah.
I forgot all about the stoner alien.
And then, like I said, my personal favorite, Stonehenge, is perhaps the most iconic ancient alien site in the Western world. The proponents of ancient astronaut theory, like Eric von Daniken, argue that Stonehenge was essentially a GPS beacon or a landing pad for alien spacecraft. The impossible transport of the smaller blue stones, weighing about 2 tons each, come from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away. Theorists argue that Neolithic people couldn't have moved these across such rugged terrain without an anti-gravity technology or levitation. Astronomer Gerald Hawkins famously called Stonehenge an astronomical computer. Alien theorists take this a step further, suggesting that the precise alignment with the summer solstice and lunar cycles was quote-unquote downloaded to humans by advanced beings to help them track time and space. Some fringe theories suggest the circular arrangement of stones acted as a portal or a device to channel Earth energy to communicate with beings from the other star systems. Thoughts, Nick? You look like you got something to say.
I love Stargates. I'm all about Stargates.
It's a great show.
It's great. Stargate SG. Well, you got Stargate up in there, Jake Willett? Yeah. I mean, that's the whole... what was that movie from Disney? It was terrible.
That could be any of them.
John Carter from Mars.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, probably. You probably won't because it was horrible. Like, it was a cool concept. It was just like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this dude in like the Civil War. Yeah, he's like a sergeant in the Civil War. He's running away from the Native Americans, and he finds this like cave, and he finds this little stone thing, and he like picks it up, and it's a fucking Stargate. Sends him off to Mars,
okay.
And he like lands on Mars, and the whole movie's about him essentially becoming this like hero. It's a book before it was like a show, like written back in the day. And on Mars, because he's like an Earthling, he has like superhuman abilities because he's like still tethered to like Earth's gravity. So Mars gravity is like...
All right, you lost me.
But yeah, Stargates, yeah, they're pretty fun. They're cool.
I like how they said some of the fringe theories, which I guess means that like the outskirts of even the people that believe this is an alien are like, all right, this guy's fucking insane.
The ancient aliens are like, theorists are like, okay, dude, calm the fuck down.
That they downloaded this information to the humans to help them track time and space. Why didn't they just give them a fucking watch? Like, here's a telescope, here's a watch. You'll see these stars pass as it goes. That's really all there is to it.
Yeah, that'd be too.
Here's what you need to do. Arrange these stones in a giant circle. Then you will be able to track the solstices.
Really? Oh, wow.
That is as simple as I can make it.
It's like, yeah, you could just give them a watch, they could tell time that way. Yeah.
All right. And then for the reality side, which nobody likes, but archaeologists have spent decades piecing together how humans, not aliens, built the site over roughly 1,500 years. So again, the walking stone theory is that while moving stones 150 miles sounds impossible, experimental archaeology has shown that a team of just 10 to 20 people can move a 2-ton stone on a wooden sledge over long distances.
No.
For the massive 25-ton sarsen stones from just 20 miles away, larger teams using rollers and grease could have managed the feat. One of the most human-like features of Stonehenge is the mortise and tenon joints. These are peg and hole joints typically used in woodworking. It suggests the builders were skilled carpenters who simply applied their wood-building knowledge to stone. A recent 2024 study found that massive altar stone actually came from Scotland, over 450 miles away.
Yeah.
While this sounds like an alien-level transport, researchers believe it may have been transported by sea via a coastal route, which was a common highway for ancient trade. All viable options, I suppose. I don't really know how a person can move a 10-ton thing on a wooden sledge, but, I'm not a physicist, so.
I mean, what was his name? The guy that conquered Constantinople? Dude literally built, like, giant-ass rollers and chopped down an entire fucking forest and had his men literally lift the ships onto these rollers to get around, like, a little blockade and, like, kind of like roll them up through this forest and then drop them down into the ocean. That way they were like in the harbor for Constantinople to continue the siege. Like,
okay.
So I mean, it's not.
I'm definitely not saying it's not possible.
It's not crazy. I mean,
current evidence suggests that it wasn't a landing pad for spaceships, but a multi-purpose ceremonial center. It was used as a burial ground where hundreds of cremation burials have been found at the site, suggesting it was a place for the dead. Some skeletons found nearby show signs of injury or illness, leading to the theory that the blue stones were thought to have some sort of magical healing property. And of course, a solar calendar where the alignment with the solstice allowed ancient farmers to know exactly when the seasons were turning, crucial for survival, not just for ritual. So those are just a couple of these monolithic ancient structures that aliens helped build.
Yeah.
There's also a theory of anachronistic artifacts, which are alien objects that were left behind for the human race to use to their advantage.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can pronounce this word, but it was an ancient Roman mechanism found in a Roman-era shipwreck. The Antikythera mechanism was a bronze device that contained dozens of intricate gears. The theory suggests that it's a calculator from the stars because nothing this complex appeared again until the 14th century. However, they say that modern explanation is that it was an analog computer used to track lunar cycles, eclipses, and even the timing of the Olympic Games. While it is a masterpiece of Greek engineering, it uses mathematical principles that were well known to Greek astronomers of that era, and its existence suggests that ancient Greek technology was simply more advanced than we previously gave them credit for.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's supposed to look like but it sounded like it was like a puzzle box almost, but just that if you knew how to work it, somehow you got information from it. I still need to know how they got that it was an analog computer. You're telling me the ancient Greeks knew how to work a computer. I mean, obviously not a computer like we know now, but
I think computers just like a
term,
a vague term, basically what it was just like a machine that they fixed the gears and they could push a button or whatever.
It was like a calculator.
Yeah, it would it would do what it was programmed to do, essentially. Yeah.
That is crazy that they were able to make something like that. So who told them how to make it?
It's aliens.
Aliens. Oh, we're way more advanced than we gave them credit for. That's because aliens fucking helped them. That's why. Next one I have is the Baghdad Battery.
Those are pretty cool.
They are clay jars containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod found near Baghdad. Alien theories that they were used to provide light inside dark tombs like the Dendera light or power ancient machines. When filled with an electrolyte like vinegar or lemon juice, the replicas that they made could produce about 1 volt of electricity. However, most archaeologists believe that they were used for electroplating, coating silver with gold, or perhaps for medicinal purposes, such as shaking away pain through mild electric pulses, similar to how Greeks used electric eels.
Yeah, that one to me wasn't so much like ancient aliens were intervened. I think that was more humans were just experimenting, and they figured out like, oh, if I put this in this, then it creates this.
That's true.
That one to me, like that one comes up a lot. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll explain the Baghdad batteries, and I'm like, okay, I think humans were not as dumb as what we think we were, and because like a lot of what we have today from science was just alchemists back in the day experimenting with shit and trying to figure things out, and I kind of put that in the same realm. It's like, okay, this just looks like Egyptian alchemy and like them trying to figure out like
that is insane that they were able to figure out that they could produce a small amount of electricity with it, though.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last one that I think I'm gonna touch on is probably the most popular one, the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you know about the Ark of the Covenant?
It is highly, highly revered. It probably is, well, it's probably the most sought out artifact of the ancient world.
Mm-hmm. Indiana Jones wanted it.
Yeah, they made a movie out of it, and it comes up all the time. It's said to contain the power of God within like its contents. It has like the 2 stone tablets for the 10 Commandments, sand, I think it's in there, and then something like that. Somehow Jesus involved. There's just bread in there, but yeah, it was like a weapon essentially.
Used by King Solomon. I believe.
King Solomon, yeah. It had to be housed like in its own temple. The 4, I forget the name of like the people that used it or whatever, but they had to have like certain like armor on to like actually use it, and they would carry it on their shoulders. Supposedly it was there at the fall of Jericho. God instructed them to march around the city for 7 days, and on the 8th day or something they had to blow the ram's horn, and like it made the walls fall down or some shit, and like
very Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yep.
Yeah, King Solomon. I forgot to mention. Have you heard like King Solomon's ring was also allegedly a ancient alien artifact that he could summon other terrestrial or extraterrestrial beings from with using his ring?
No. I knew the ring was an artifact, but I didn't know that. That was the powers behind it. Oh, that's cool.
In the world of ancient alien theories, the Ark of the Covenant is rarely seen as a religious chest. Instead, theorists like Eric von Daniken and Giorgio Tsoukalos, describe it as a technological artifact of extraterrestrial origin. The supercapacitor theory. Many theorists argue the Ark was an electrical device, specifically a Leyden jar or an early form of a capacitor. The Bible describes the Ark as being made of acacia wood, and plated inside and out with a gold conductor. Theorists suggest that as the Israelites carried the Ark through the dry desert, the friction against the gold-plated wood generated a massive static charge. This used to explain why anyone who touched the Ark, like Uzzah in the Bible, was struck dead instantly. They were effectively electrocuted by a high-voltage discharge.
Yep.
That's pretty sick.
It's like a pretty mega powerful weapon, yeah.
Next is the radioactive power source. A darker theory suggests the Ark contained a radioactive element or a nuclear power generator. When the Philistines captured the Ark, they were reportedly struck by tumors and swords, and many died. Theorists argue that these are classic symptoms of radiation poisoning.
Yep.
This theory explains why the high priests had to wear specific breastplates,
that's what it was,
possibly lined with lead, and why the Ark had to be kept in a lead-lined room, the Holy of Holies, and moved only by poles so no one came too close.
Yep.
The communication device, also known as the radio. In the Bible,
the space between the 2 cherubims, the 2 angels, supposedly was like a way to hear the voice of God.
Yes. In the Bible, God speaks to Moses from between the 2 cherubim on the top of the Ark. Theorists suggest the 2 golden cherubim acted as an antenna system or a speaker. The Ark wasn't a place where the deity lived, but a high-powered radio used by, quote-unquote, ancient astronauts to give instructions to Moses from an orbiting spacecraft. Hell yeah.
This is dope. This is fire.
Interestingly enough, early drafts of the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark actually included lines describing the Ark as a radio to talk to God, influenced by Van Daniken's books. There you go. Here you go, the sonic weapon. When the Israelites marched around Jericho, they carried the Ark, blew trumpets, and the walls collapsed.
Nope.
Theorists argue that the Ark was a sonic transducer, or a frequency-based weapon. They believed it amplified the sound of trumpets into a focused vibration capable of shattering stone walls, essentially an alien death ray, or an acoustic cannon.
Nope.
Some fringe theorists, like George Sassoon and Rodney Dale, suggest the Ark was a part of a larger machine called the Mana machine. The claim was that it was a nuclear-powered algae processor that took dew and air and turned it into mana, a nutrient-rich food, to keep the Israelites alive during their 40-year desert trek. They claimed the Ten Commandments tablets were actually the machine's instruction manuals or radioactive fuel plates. The Ark was said to have disappeared after the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem, and that's where we all leave it. I think that's pretty fucking sick.
Dude, Ark of the Covenant's fire.
So many different things.
I love like the lore behind the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah. It's like insane. Like it'd be terrifying.
Again, like all of those things are possible, or it could just be like it was actually a thing used by God to.
It could
literally channel his will.
Sure, or literally it could have just been a box. But
it just happened to be around for all these very coincidental things.
Yeah, right. They were there. No, it's the Ark correlation does not mean causation. Get rid of that guy. Yeah. I love.
Behold the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah,
and inside the Ark is a gun.
Is that a 12 gauge? This is just
the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, we could do like 50 episodes on like Ancient Aliens.
Clearly, because Ancient Aliens has gone on for 20 years now.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's like my favorite show. I'm obsessed with it. I think I've seen like every single episode, and it's good stuff.
All right, well, take us home, Nick. What's your favorite thing about ancient astronaut theory? Or
probably the biggest thing that I've enjoyed the most about going down the ancient alien theory.
Was there anything you found specifically that like really caught your attention?
I mean, it's all like always like caught my attention. Like I love like from the Bible, like we were talking about Enoch earlier. Like they're called the Watchers. Mm-hmm. So essentially, what we were talking about, how had they left artifacts and stuff behind. The Watchers essentially were these groups of like beings in the sky, came down, mated with humans, created the Nephilim, were these like ancient breed of like angelic giants, essentially, which a lot of like Greek mythology, some of like the different like creatures and stuff that kind of came out of like, you know, the Titans and things like that,
like a Hydra or some shit.
Well, like that too, but like more or less like the Titans, you know, like the giants or whatever that were. I think like a lot of that is like, to me, when I hear that, I think of the Nephilim, because they were like these like giant angels that were like offspring of like humans and angels.
Sick.
But yeah, like the Watchers essentially gave humans a lot of the things that we kind of have today. So they taught them like mathematics, astronomy, things like that. And of course, God, you know, the flood happened because he wanted to get rid of like the Nephilim. They breed, and he was like, "Oh God, this is bad. We gotta cleanse the earth." Yeah. But of course, we retained the knowledge that was given to us. So that's always like my favorite thing, and I love it all. There's so much that I could talk about this for hours.
Yeah. I didn't know if there was one specific thing that like really roped you into your fascination with ancient alien theory, or
no, I just saw
anything in your research that you like popped up that was like, oh, I never knew that, or anything like that.
No, it's kind of like you, and like I guess if somebody were to talk to you about like Elvis and back in the, you know, like you could probably just talk for hours on like the history and the war.
But I don't really want to.
Anyway, no, but I'm saying like it's I don't want to talk about aliens. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Anything else in pop culture that you want to touch on before we wrap this thing up? Anything like H.P. Lovecraft's works were very influenced by the ancient astronaut theory, of course, with the Call of Cthulhu and the Mountains of Madness.
It kind of comes up a
an
lot.
Ancient alien within himself. Cosmic terror.
I mean, it comes up with, like, we talk about, like, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. He talks about, like, the Nazca lines, and that. It's kind of, like, hard to say, like, how does this come up in pop culture? Because I think it being history, like, we've been talking about the pyramids since, they taught us in school, and we've learned about it, and people have been learning about the pyramids for hundreds of years now.
That's true.
So I really feel like it's like pop culture essentially that kind of comes up, because I think it's just history. Okay. And then the ancient alien theory is just one lens of how to explain that history, I think is what it really comes down to. That's good stuff. Now I want to go watch some more Ancient Aliens and read Charity to the Gods. I'm gonna go buy that book this week. It's like $5.
Check out your Wonder Book and go buy a Charity to the Gods book.
Yeah. Yep.
With that being said, that'll put a bow on this episode of Shadows and Sightings. As always, you can find us on Facebook, Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal podcast. Instagram, Shadows and Sightings Pod. Send us an email at shadowsandsightings@gmail.com. Leave us a review on whichever streaming platform you're listening to this on. Leave a comment. Send us a email, whatever you want to do. Reach out to us. Let us know what you're thinking about the show. And Nick, anything else you got?
No, I can't wait till we revisit this topic, because there's so many that we could just do a whole episode just like on the different monuments, like Stonehenge, things like that, because this will tie into that, because I'm sure it'll come back up into it. So sure. I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah,
looking forward to
for 2026.
Oh yeah,
our second year of doing this show.
Hell yeah,
and we're thankful for all the people out there still listening and hanging in with us and keeping on with this journey that we're on. And we hope that you're enjoying the show. And until next time, we'll see you then when we talk about all things spooky.